Welcome to the 20-Minute Talk Show. I'm excited to introduce Brittaney Robinson, a wonderful independent consultant here in Denver, and this is my interpreter, Kelly. So we want to we'll start the 20-minute talk and get ready to click it, and then we'll go. Ready? So tell me about the transition when you started to being an independent consultant.
Yes, absolutely. So I had been working in the nonprofit sector for a while and in education, and for 5 years had worked with a nonprofit organization here in Denver, Colorado, helping urban youth just maintain healthy, long-term, lasting relationships. And this was all happening in Denver public schools. We recognized that there was a gap in relationship building, in some of the character and life skills that students needed to succeed academically but holistically. So had worked with a particular nonprofit called Colorado Uplift for a while, and then decided to come here to University of Denver to attain my master's in business administration. During that time, I had recognized, and even within the field, I had recognized that I was very passionate about strategic development and operational strategy for organizations, helping them grow and scale, and especially organizations that were impacting in ways that I felt that the whole world should be a part of. And so I ended up deciding to kind of step out on my own and really talk to organizations, specifically nonprofits, that needed a little bit more help with business strategy. And I had already been connected in the nonprofit sector with a couple of organizations that had requested my help. And that's how my journey began as an independent consultant.
Oh, that's amazing. What a wonderful transition. Well, I am curious, though. I am fascinated by the nonprofit part of it. Was that your passion, or how did you get into the nonprofit segment?
Yes, absolutely. So I would say not the nonprofit sector itself wasn't something that I had already said, oh, I absolutely just want to be a part of the nonprofit world. It was more so I wanted to be involved in organizations that were socially impacting. And specifically, education was my passion. How were organizations kind of disrupting narratives that I had seen before, that systems that weren't changing, students continuing to fail in school, as well as come against hard times at home, populations increasing in the prison systems of minority youth. That was something that really impacted me, and I was looking for organizations that were tackling some of these issues. So that's how I stepped into the nonprofit space.
Oh, that's wonderful. So in reference to the social impact, the people you've spoken with, for example, like the strategies and helping them, build teamwork, or what all was involved in that?
Yes, absolutely. So I'd say it depended on what organization I was working with. For some organizations, it was leadership development, helping some of the leaders communicate with their staff on specific strategies that they had for their company. And then with some other projects, I just targeted and focused on strategic development. What was their organization going to look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Were they going to scale? Were they only going to stay within their one specific space and region? So I guess it depended on the project.
Interesting. So depending on the project, that was the challenge that you faced. Could you share some of the challenges you faced when you were dealing with some of those organizations?
Yes, absolutely. I think across the board, I've seen just within the nonprofit space, there are a lot of leaders that have such a heart and passion for the mission, for the vision and their values. But oftentimes there is a gap in business competencies that need to be filled. And that was one of the biggest reasons of why I came to the University of Denver to receive a master's in business administration, because I knew for myself I wanted to learn a bit more. And so in terms of the challenges, it's aligning the skills and the values and the passion that these leaders have with the skills necessary to lead a business well. Taking some time to really communicate with the leaders. These are the areas that you're struggling, and it's not necessarily, it has nothing to do with your passion and your drive, but we just have some gaps that we need to fill when it comes to business strategy.
Interesting. Okay, so do you plan on maybe opening a school of your own?
Yes, I'm glad you asked that. So my transition, although I am still doing consulting now, I am transitioning into opening up a charter school in Aurora, in the Aurora Public School District called Vega Collegiate Academy. I will be partnering with another person, Catherine Mullins, who is a part of the Building Excellent Schools Network, and we will be opening up a K-8 school together.
Interesting. So what's your goal in opening up the school?
Specifically with the school, the area that we are going to be in, it is a region where there are quite a few failing schools. And of course, when you see failing schools, it's failing our students. The population within the 80010 area code is a very diverse population that is full of wonderful refugee families, immigrant families that do not have the resources necessary to make sure that their kids are succeeding in school, especially when they're coming from another country, not always knowing the American systems, how things work, how to enroll the students. So we want to provide an opportunity for all of our students that are within that district to succeed, not just academically, but holistically, and for their families as well.
Wow, so inspiring.
Thank you.
So you work with a variety of students, making sure that their life is a successful life, and so they have a happy life. So what are your fears as you jump into this endeavor?
Yes, absolutely. This is an endeavor that I never thought for myself that I would be opening up a school. So there's so much to think through and to process. There's the fine details of, what is our bus system going to look like? What's the transportation system going to look like? There's so many procedures and processes and things that I have to think through that can present a challenge. But I'd say the biggest challenge that I am facing right now is just to make sure that I am fostering an environment of safety, an environment of excellence, an environment that is healthy for all students, regardless of what background they come from. And when you have over 30 different nationalities represented in a school, and over, I'd say just within that region, 100 different languages, that's a challenge. And it's very important to me to find the right leaders that can come to the table to be able to help, that it really does take a village to make sure that this school succeeds.
Nice. So the goal, the value system you have, such a wonderful system. What did you learn from the business school that changed your thinking about starting up nonprofits, the school?
Yes, I would say it was really just developing, Professor Carrie Plemons calls it, your business lexicon. Understanding the business world, understanding the business language, learning how to really critically think and analyze problems in a way that a lot of people don't. And just being able to have access to resources, tools, and strategies in the business world, that was what I took away from my time here at Daniels. And I would say also the biggest thing is the network. Having some awesome professors and my cohort that I can go back to, such a wide variety of skills and experiences that even to this day, I'm still calling up some of my cohort members as well as my professors to get advice and to hear how they would tackle an issue or a challenge. That has been truly helpful in this time.
I agree wholeheartedly. Your network is so important in the business school.
Yes.
So, for example, if you ran into, say, someone in business development or ran into someone else, how would you teach them how to connect and build their relationships?
Absolutely. I always say, first and foremost, be authentic, be real. Do not feel like you have to be a person that you are not. So I'd say that any relationship starts, or any connection starts with relationship. Asking them questions about who they are, sharing a little bit about who you are. It's an exchange. And I never go into networking with what am I going to get from you without me being able to give something in return.
Right. So it's about giving as well as taking.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's so important all over the world with everybody.
Yes, absolutely.
So tell me more about you, more your interests, what you do. What other work do you do?
Yes. So in terms of the professional work,
professional and business as well. Other interests, other things you're involved in?
Yeah. So I have always I've always had a passion for just what other entrepreneurs are doing. And I've recently started to connect a little bit more with accelerators and seeing, what is going on within the social impact space. How are entrepreneurs within the United States as well as internationally setting great business models that are affecting change globally? So that has been my interest, and I have.
Really?
Yes, and I've been taking some time to connect to some awesome companies here within Colorado, but also being able to go to Israel for our capstone project. I had been able to connect with quite a few different accelerators and incubators out there as well. So that's something that continues to strike my interest, and I'm finding ways to stay connected. Possibly in the future, running an institute with some of these organizations is something I may do in the future. You never know.
Yeah, we definitely can't predict what will happen in the future, of course. So could you tell me more about so kind of what your life looks like on a daily basis? What do you think through as you get up in the morning to start your day?
Yes, I definitely have I'd say a mantra or motto to try and stay present within my day, and my day can shift in so many different ways, depending on the project, depending on the site, depending on just who I am working with, what is the issue. It can change. But I would say for each day, my biggest focus is how can I be a positive influence within the companies that I am working with, and be a listening ear, be active and engage in their company culture and understanding who they are first before I try to implement my strategies and my solutions, because I think it first comes from being able to really be integrated within an organization and not come in as a dictator. So for each day, I think that's my goal. I'm running all around the city to different places, meeting different people, trying to engage in community leadership to make sure that these organizations are being their best at what they do.
Wow, I agree wholeheartedly. So how do you stay motivated every day? Because you've got to be, with all the changes, all that you're faced with, and how do you keep yourself motivated?
Yeah, I'd say there's two things. First things first, I don't know if you've heard of Simon Sinek and his TED Talk on getting down to the why. And for me, I always go back to my why. Why am I doing this work? Really, what gets me up in the morning? And that is, one, being able to see all kids, all youth have an opportunity to be successful, period. And that's why I continue to do what I do. And I would say just beyond youth and my time in education, I want to see all leaders be their best, being able to take their skills and their passions and really bring their light to fruition in this world. That's what gets me excited. And I think about some of the stories of some of my students and some of the staff that I have worked with where they have come from really, really hard backgrounds and challenges, and watching their life and seeing their growth, seeing resilience and grit. That's what keeps me motivated. Another thing is making sure that I am trying to stay as balanced as I possibly can. I don't know if you ever reach a full balance, but spending time with family and friends for me outside of work is really important. Making sure that I am maintaining a healthy lifestyle, exercise, those things are what continue to keep me going. And traveling too. I love to travel.
Oh, I love traveling as well. It also helps me to stay motivated.
Yes.
What's your favorite company you've been to, or country you've been to so far?
Ooh, that is a hard one. So I was able to spend some time when I was studying abroad in undergrad in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And that is a space, it's just a beautiful, beautiful country with a beautiful culture that I truly love. So I'd say that is one of my favorites, but I do probably have thousands of others.
It is true. Oh, you've definitely inspired me to travel to Argentina and other places as well.
Yes,
so we have 2 minutes left. So tell me, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
That's a good question. And for me, I think I've gotten comfortable in saying I don't know. I have been able to just take each day, each year as just what it is. And I talked a little bit about before staying present. I do know that I would love to continue to influence communities. I would like to do some international work eventually. But in terms of the actual position, in terms of the actual way that I'm going to impact, I don't know. And that's why I take each day one step at a time. I was comfortable before in asking other people why, where do you see yourself 10 years, 11 years, 12 years down the road. But when we really, really think about it, none of us really know. I know for myself that I will continue to follow my heart and follow just the passion that I have for youth, for the underprivileged, for those that do not have a voice. Being able to give them a voice, give them resources to succeed in what they do. So I'd say that is where I'm at.
Okay, 20 seconds left. Okay, so could you describe yourself in one word? 10 seconds left. Go. Think quickly.
Passionate.
Passion. Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming. It's been a joy to have you. I love it. Passionate. What a perfect word. Okay, that's all.
Awesome.
We're done.
Thank you, bye. Thank you.